Iván Archivaldo Guzmán would have been in one of the houses where an operation was carried out to arrest Jose Angel Canovio Insuna, known as El Güerito. And Kevin Hill Acosta was arrested, known as 200, allegedly linked to Iván Archivaldo. Well, this week, we had an exclusive. They only granted access to this house that you're seeing on the screen in the footnote and to the local newspaper under discussion. So, Pie de Nota is the footnote. When I say the footnote, is his show, Pie de Nota. So, he got an exclusive. Him and the local newspaper got an exclusive to go into the tunnels. All right, exclusive to him. He's confirmed that the tunnels existed. This is the tunnel through which Iván Archivaldo Guzmán escaped. Here we're presenting you the exclusive images obtained again online by the local media. The discussion in Pie de Nota, of course, I am telling you that the tunnel is more than 700 meters of longitude. It was found in a house in the Tierra Blanca sector. Through here, Iván Archivaldo escaped, just as his father did from prison years earlier. Hit the like button, y'all. Make the math. The images show a narrow, barely passable tunnel whose exit is on the private street, and the house is marked with the number 285. The discovery occurs days after. What you mean the discovery occurs days after? Y'all hit the house, you find these two jerk-offs, you lock them up, they tell you he got away, and you don't find the tunnel 2 days later? Sounds fishy. The discovery occurs days after the strong military deployment registered on Wednesday, February 19th in Las Quintas and in Culiacancito, where El Güerito and 200 were captured. During that same night, federal forces carried out an operation in Tierra Blanca in which, according to various sources, an important character of the Sinaloa managed to escape. Okay, now I get it. They weren't in the same house. They ratted him out where he was at. So they got popped, and then they ratted out where he was at, and he got away from them through the tunnels. But wouldn't they have told them about the tunnels? The discovery occurs days after the strong military deployment registered on Wednesday, February 19th in Las Quintas, and then Culiacancito. So that's where they got these other guys, I think. They were captured that same night, and federal forces carried out an operation in Tierra Blanca, in which, according to various sources, an important character of the Sinaloa cartel managed to escape. Authorities have not yet confirmed who would have escaped. They're not saying that it was Iván Archivaldo Guzmán. However, sources from the same government unofficially confirmed to Pie de Nota that it would have indeed been Iván Archivaldo who escaped in this tunnel from Culiacán. Preliminary versions indicate that the several houses in the area would be interconnected. In addition to the tunnel, in the place, an armored Audi vehicle and a pickup truck were seized. Inside, with weapons and tire puncturing accessories were found. So these were stash houses. These were safe houses. Well, not so safe houses. They were found behind a door that looks like the closet of a kitchen of the house. That's where the tunnels begin. The staircase goes down about 6 to 8 meters. Through the tunnel, as I was saying, it has about 700 to 800 meters of length, narrow, rustic, zigzags. The sources tell us, well, lack of oxygen, and further ahead it gets a little wider. It opens up a little more. It has its own lights, rails, tubes for what they were preparing for oxygenation. Because inside, I tell you, breathing, were you in there, bro? Is very difficult. I think we even had some video of it from inside. We are looking at one of the houses that are supposedly interconnected with several others. So that means they had the whole block, bro. You're in your bathroom one day, you taking a shit, shave, or a shower, and next thing you know, it's a motherfucking burrowing up through your toilet bowl or under your sink. And you're like, hey, man, you're choppy though. And they're like, yeah, this house is ours now. We're going to run this tunnel If the army come through here, just get low. Hit the like button, yo. It would also have interconnectivity with, let's say, it also has connectivity to the drainage of the city. That's why it was difficult for the authorities to find the whereabouts of Iván Archivaldo Guzmán. What is being said is that Iván Archivaldo would have escaped through this tunnel that is again narrow with little oxygen. Look, let me show you the video that we already have here. All right, so boom, you go down. It's a kitchen, nice little kitchen, right? Got a nice fridge right there. Little table. A little roll your blunt spot right there at the table right there. Got little counters. These guys hide in style, boy. That's the kitchen. Going through the kitchen. Under the stairs. Look at that claustrophobic shit, though. Not much different from his father. That is some labor-intensive work right there. And to not have blocks. I mean, how many blocks of Culiacán are compromised, right? Because this mad empty space under these fucking places with tunnels and shit. Like, these guys throw some money at the situation. They get a bunch of guys down there in that hole, throw money, or they put hammers to them and say, start digging. If you look closely, there's only room for one person. There's no room for several. And Iván Archivaldo would have entered through this tunnel that starts in the kitchen of one of the houses and then went to another house about 700 meters from there with this house that you're seeing on the screen. And there he would have come out through a bathroom. And there the tunnel connected the end of the tunnel as you're seeing it. It's marked with the number 285 of the private street, Artesanos, a home with exactly the same facade as the other house. Whoever built them exactly the same. They're around 4 or 5 blocks apart. The ones between one house and another. And it would be interesting to point out, again, through this other house where he allegedly escaped. Here's the video. Look at that shit, boy. You better hope he got a good back. The boy's in his 40s and shit. Upper echelon pays for y'all tunnels in the bathroom. I'm gonna have to take his fucking wrench. Hit the like button, y'all. Buddy must have had a good back, bro. What happens? You buy a house, you fuck around and find one. Probably can't buy the house. They don't allow that shit. Nah, we already got to this one, bro. Said those pipes were being introduced to oxygenate the tunnel, so they weren't finished with the construction of these tunnels. But they came in handy unfinished. He probably would have fucked. That would have been. Imagine that. Imagine what kind of justice or poetic justice that would be. That the fucking guy went down there and ran out of oxygen trying to get away. Holy shit. Because down there, the breathing was very, very difficult. Yeah, that would have been crazy, huh? Dude would have just passed out in the fucking tunnel because he ran out of oxygen. The most wanted gangster in the country right now. I want you to see that there's buckets of dirt in there still. Imagine if Iván escaped practically alone through that tunnel and the agents wanted to enter and then try to chase him through there. It would be practically impossible for an officer with his weapon, especially if there's several of them, that will go after him. In addition, they'll be careful because, of course, it could be an ambush. They could be ambushed at the end of that tunnel. They did not know exactly where it was going. They did not know if they were going to be attacked. They didn't know if there could even have been explosives. The tunnel was still being prepared. I will leave you with the full video so that you can take a look at it from now on and see the route that was exclusively discussed. That shit is tight, boy. You see a little bit of illumination at the end. This is where the aforementioned tunnel ended, where according to authorities, officially someone important of the Sinaloa cartel faction would have escaped. And unofficially it is known that it was Iván Archivaldo. He confirmed it. Yo, that's a tight spot. Yeah, they definitely weren't done with that, but it served his purpose. He got his ass out of there before they smoked him. Pablo needed a tunnel. Pablo didn't have a tunnel. Pablo jumped on the roof. There was a wrap. He's saying, I guess he's saying, if dude was still around, somebody would have picked him up. My question is, who picked him up this time? Did he have communications? Because I can't find the story. Shout out to Delcio. Hopefully Delcio pops up. He got the story that says that Iván was on the run, running through the streets, and ran up to a basketball game on a basketball court or some shit. Somebody playing ball, and he switched clothes with the person. And that's how he got away. And people were telling me, no, I heard that too. But I can't find the story. So Panu would have arrived to pick up Iván Archivaldo and extract him from Culiacán to avoid his arrest. However, the same sources also from the Mexican government has said that they have not lost track of him, that they have not lost his trail, that they are following him, well, working, and that it's a matter of time to find the right moment for his arrest. Listen, if y'all hear the news before I do, y'all gonna blow up the Discord, y'all gonna blow up my DMs, and we're gonna have to go live from wherever the fuck I'm at. Cause I got a feeling it's coming soon. They about to get that ass. Man, that's tight down there. You gotta run through there like one of them fucking hunched over like one of the Planet of the Apes chimps. You knock a chunk out of your dome right there, man. They go the agents in front of the cameras, walking with difficulty. As I told you, it's not easy terrain. It's quite complicated terrain because it's very narrow. The tunnel was not opened very much. It was not dug very much. Although further, the tunnel begins to open up a little bit more to give a little more space. That shit is crazy right there. And if you see, the lighting in the tunnel has already been cut off. Without the lamps from the cameras, it would have probably been impossible to maneuver through here without busting your shit. And as I was telling you, it began in the kitchen of one house in Colonia Tierra Blanca and ended in the bathroom of a house 4 or 5 houses away from there. I think he meant blocks. The tunnel also interconnects with the drainage, and it's speculated that it connected with several other houses. That's why the situation became complicated for the authorities to arrest Iván Archivaldo. They just told us that the fear was that they were ambushed when they left. Who knows where, because the authorities had no knowledge of this tunnel, of course. And so they went cautiously, slowly. They tried to keep the whole area under surveillance. However, Iván Archivaldo could not be located there in that area, because very much in the style of his father, El Chapo, the Lord of the Tunnels, will have even probably used some of the men who built the tunnel through which El Chapo Guzmán would have escaped the last time, because a very, very similar construction is seen. Well, there you have it, exclusively from Pie de Nota and for the local media, for the discussion, the images. Shout out Luis Chaparro, salutes. But my question was, do you think them 2 dudes that got popped 200, which was big time on his security agenda, I guess, or his list, and the other guy, El Güerito, and those guys do you think those guys ratted out where he was at but didn't tell the law about the tunnels? American intelligence has to be behind all this, tracking his phones from satellites and spy crafts of Mexico, if Mexico is telling the truth. Nope, good for him. Claustrophobia kicking in watching this. I respect Luis, but it's weird how they didn't release this footage the same day and days after, only allowed 2 media companies to report on it. Yeah, I don't know, man. Because that's what, body cam footage? Or they using cameras? I don't know what they're using. There's the tour of the tunnel, right? And the identical houses that it connected to. Quite the little tight situation he was in right there, huh? He said, let's be honest, every house he goes to is going to have a tunnel or escape. How do they not learn from the past? Probably building these for decades. Yeah. They're definitely not waiting. Well, this one looks like they waited. But I'm sure they've already used a bunch of other ones that have been in the making, ready to go. They don't just start building in the midst of war. they make sure that they got, a way out for whenever they need to get out. He probably taking the same tunnels his dad walked. Quite possible. And not only that, Luis is saying he probably using the same, the same tunnel guy. That tunnel guy, boy, he had to teach his kids that shit. It's the way the family gets paid. The Guzmans call on you, and you get to burrow in.